In this video, I'll be reviewing your Pokemon. More specifically, we're having a look at 3 of Medici's Pokemon, which they have submitted in the YouTube My Mon text channel. It is in my Discord. You can find it under the Pokemon Sleep category under YouTube My Mon. And currently, I'm having a little bit of a special campaign. If you're interested in becoming a YouTube member, you can find the join button either on a computer or on an Android device. Google is at war with Apple or the other way around because of some 30% platform fee thingy. So you won't find the join button in the YouTube app on an iPhone. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a hassle maybe. First time locating the join button. But overall, it should be $2 or whatever your native currency is. I live in Norway, so this is 19 kroner. Gives you lifetime access to the Discord. If you follow the rules, you just get to keep the access even if you end the renewal. You get early access to new videos like these ones. These have been recorded like way in advance until they go all the way public. And also priority reply to comments and other additional feedback that you would have for the content and all that stuff. So if any of that is interesting to you, consider becoming a YouTube member and have at it. So for this YouTube My Mon series, at the very least out September, I can mention, I will make a video for each and every one of you. We'll have to see what kind of volumes I'll get in the future. Potentially in the future, I will gear more towards making a theme type video for these YouTube My Mon series, where I, for example, ask a question, hey, submit your best Suicune, and then I'll just take the 5 or 10 first submissions and do something like this. So the YouTube My Mon series will be an overall series going forward. I just have to figure out the volumes of it. But right now, join the Discord and have a video. So the first Pokemon we're going to talk about in this video that Medici submitted is an Altaria. And this Altaria, we can start off with, has berry finding. So as a start, that's pretty huge. We can also reveal the level of the Altaria, which is level 40. Overall, Altaria is probably not among the best berry specialists. It's rather slow. And the thing with Altaria too is the difference between Altaria and Dragonite in terms of berry production is very minimal if both of them have the berry finding. And in addition, Dragonite is self-healing as well as the Altaria, so they're even more similar. And the Dragonite also produces a whole lot of ingredients. Dragonite is overall more expensive to raise, of course. And if you're more interested on the topic of the comparison between Altaria and Dragonite, I can highly recommend you to check out Brovinnie's YouTube channel. He just made a 50-minute long, very detailed breakdown of the whole concept with numerous examples. This video specifically is about not only Altaria, but Medici's Altaria. And I'm excited to look further what this Altaria is all about. So it's got the naughty nature. That means it's got speed of help up, and that shortens the overall time it takes per production. The main skill chance down here is a little bit unfortunate, especially considering the first sub-skill, which is skill trigger S. That makes it so that the first sub-skill and the nature kind of neutralizes itself. And I personally like the skill on Altaria. It's a self-healer. On my primary account, I have a whole bunch of Altaria, and potentially in the future I can find a pretty solid berry finding self-healing Dragonite too. And so whenever there is a dragon type area, I can just have a whole team of self-healers, and that's going to be that. Then we have a level 50 ingredient finding. And Altaria overall has a ridiculous ingredient rate. It's almost to the point where you would have liked to just sneaky snack the Altaria, but because of the self-healing, you kind of need to proc anyhow. And so the ingredient finding here is actually going to hurt the Altaria quite a bit once it reaches level 50. Although, since its main skill chance down already, and it has the ingredient finding up, I think this Altaria in specific you would probably want to just run as a berry specialist alongside a healer, which most teams kind of do anyway. And at that point, we have a final skill that is worth mentioning, which is helping speed S. The Altaria here does have skill level up M coming in at level 100. That is way late. And I don't know exactly if Altaria overall is a Pokemon you would like to push all the way to level 100. It just very much depends. But yeah, helping speed plus berry finding plus the speed up nature as a whole is a great combo. So the fact that I talked a little bit negative here about the ingredient finding and the main skill chance down nature, it doesn't matter because Altaria is a berry specialist. It has berry finding here early, which is nice. It's got the speed of help up nature and some speed coming in at level 75. And I mean, it could potentially be the case you'll have to spend 3 sub-skill seeds to roll that helping speed M into, helping speed M and not S. And at 75, Altaria here is going to be decently fast. The Yachi berry is the highest base value berry, so that is something that does go in favor for the Altaria. And overall, I would say this is a solid investment. At level 40, if we remove some of these sub-skills now, what does it actually look like? 50 minutes is rather slow, but overall, that berry value gives you back a solid value. And yeah, I would say at Greengrass Isle, if you do roll the Dragon-type berry, this is going to be a very solid Pokemon on your team. Okay, next up we have a Gardevoir. Always excited to talk about Gardevoir. In the primary account daily videos, I basically never have Gardevoir in the widget just because I don't have the chance to hunt it and I don't have one myself. And so this is called a Bomber. Oof, that is funny. And then I assume that it's been evolved twice. So it has main skill level 6 as you would assume on a S tier healer. The skills here are pretty interesting, but let's fix the nature first and foremost. It's a brave nature. I don't really care about the XP gains down here on the Gardevoir. It does not mean anything. The speed of help up here is huge, and it does have a couple of supplemental traits here to go alongside its specialty, which I like. When I analyze Pokemon, I like to just look at the specialty, consider the options that the specialty with the main skill, particularly for skill specialists, is trying to solve. So for example, Slowking is a skill specialist, it's healing. You want to stick to healing and skill related traits, and then compare it to Sylveon and Gardevoir and the rest. And then after that, consider if there are any other factors. For Slowking, it's Tails potentially and prep weeks. But for Gardevoir, it's just S tier healing. And for that, you want the skill triggers and the speed potentially, which you have a little bit of here in the nature. All right, we got ingredient finder S here. It doesn't really change a whole lot for the Gardevoir. You can see compared to the base rate, it goes from 14.5 to 17. Not a whole big difference there. Level 75 is going to be pretty nice for this Gardevoir in specific because it's going to have the helping speed S. With the helping speed S at level 75, if we just zoom it there, it's going to get pretty fast, and you have a 50% chance of sub-skill seeding it into helping speed M, which you definitely want to do. At that point, this Gardevoir is going to be ridiculously fast, and maybe the Gardevoir is strong enough to where you will get it to level 100, in which case it has a free main skill seed here. You can consider spending 2 more sub-skill seeds, in which case I would assume it probably would hit this one. So 3 sub-skill seeds in total to have this Gardevoir a level 100. I don't know if these stats are correct or not since it's so far out. Currently, the max level is 60, so this is just a funny example. I can also mention the ingredient list here is AAC. It's got Apple leeks, which is pretty solid. I do like the leeks on Gardevoir, not only because it is the lowest volume, but because leeks overall is a very high value ingredient. So for the ingredients that you do get from the leeks, it's going to be pretty good. Right. Medici has one final Pokemon we're going to have a look at. And overall, I would say this Gardevoir is really, really nice. Had I found anything like this, that'd be pretty set. Although, currently, for me, I have to outdo the current Sylveon I have, so it's a very high bar, but 2 skill triggers here, potentially the helping speed M eventually, with a speed up nature, super solid. So I can guess that this Gardevoir is probably a staple on Medici's teams and in your overall collection. The last Pokemon here is a little bit of a funny one. It's Charmander, and it is level 14, and it's nicknamed him. It's not been evolved, so I don't know. Can you hear my stomach growling? That's not good. We are going to neutralize these traits here and put in the nature first of all. Charmander evolves into Charizard, and the whole evolution line is an ingredient specialist type of Pokemon, and it's got the mild nature. Mild is the best nature for ingredient specialists in my opinion, and the first 3 sub-skills are helping bonus, helping speed M, and ingredient finder S. This is really, really, really solid. Helping bonus, one of the best sub-skills in the game. You have the mild nature, which is the best nature on ingredient specialists. And in addition, you have the 2 sub-skills that are the most interesting to find on the ingredient specialists. And in this case, it's an easy sub-skill seed if you are a premium player. And at that point in time, this is looking super, super solid. Can also mention this Charmander has inventory coming up at level 75, which is nice, and it has the remaining helping speed. So that is super, super crazy. The one thing that could potentially be a little bit awkward here on the Charmander is the ingredient list. And so the ingredient list is beans, or bean sausage rather. Bean sausage, and then it's got the herbs. So it's A, C on the ingredient list here on the Charmander. And I forgot to mention, not really, but I waited a little bit, this Charmander is shiny. So this is an easy investment, no question about it. You have very, very solid skills here. You got helping bonus, speed M, ingredient M after a sub-skill seed, and the mild nature. It's shiny. Shiny Charizard is the best shiny of all. And the only thing really holding it back here is this ingredient list. Now, this is a prime example where we really need to hop into my website and take a look, because what if the AAC ingredient list is actually pretty strong overall on the net average value? Obviously, a mono ingredient list is going to help you make the gameplay a little bit easier overall, but if you plan ahead and use your bag a little bit, then it could be quite nice. The Charizard article is actually pretty finalized, although you can see the last time I updated this page was version 1.7.2. That's a while ago, so I'd probably have to revisit it because there's always a lot of changes in the game, and yeah. So we can see the C ingredient list up here, and we can scroll down to the tables. Now, these 2 here are the tables we want to have a look at. And so if I, let's see, if I put the pointer on top here, we can see the huge pointer. We have AAC on the ingredient list. In the level 30 column, the herbs has the highest value. 515 is higher than 436 by a whole lot. That's almost 100-point difference. That's huge. And then down here you can see the C ingredient is the highest drop at level 60, which is the AAC that we have on the Charmander. If we go down here, we can see just the numbers laid out. 500 is the average value at level 60 that this Charmander will produce. 500 is not a whole lot more than the mono ingredient list. The reason is the level 30 here, AA. It's not a whole big difference between the A and the C. But overall, it is the highest value. And you can see all of these that have the level 30 column is fairly high value. Now, if you find the B ingredient, that is a little bit unfortunate with the ginger production. I actually have the ABB Charizard myself, not too happy with it, but for various reasons. But yeah, AAC is not only on a shiny Charmander with super good traits, but it has the overall highest average value. So I would say this is an easy investment, even though the mono meta is quite prevalent. There is a lot of synergy between Bean Sausage and Fiery Herb, particularly for Curry Week, which is where Charizard belongs anyway. So congratulations, this is a really nice find, and I hope that you will be able to dump some resources into it and be real happy with it. Even when you make it to level 50, this is going to be a tremendous mono beans farmer. And by the time you reach level 60, just use your inventory bag a little bit, plan your meals out a little bit in advance, and this is going to be huge. So the final Pokemon here is actually the Charmander. So we've made it to the end of the video here. Overall, I hope you've enjoyed this discussion, Medici, and to all of you watching, you can leave a like on this video if you have enjoyed it and want to see more content like this in the future. You can also consider becoming a YouTube member. Currently, the month of September 2024, I'm making a video for all the new members and all the members who are also in the nirtheart Discord to begin with. So, YouTube My Mon, you can find it here in the Pokemon Sleep category. Become a YouTube member. It is $2, local currency, whatever that is for you, and you get lifetime access to the Discord as long as you follow the rules. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you again in another video.